Yeah, I certainly feel like I have been trying to find a way to come to terms with the possibility that I never succeeded in the way that I want to, but also be able to simultaneously accept that reality while not allowing myself to give up on it.
Yeah, no.
Like I'm certainly not going to stop trying to piece together a plan that is realistic and viable in terms of making progress towards that goal.
Mm-hmm.
And to try to aim to see more clearly a path on how to do that. But yeah, I definitely do feel like there is a force of the longer I go not experiencing tangible progress towards it, that there is a massive wave of mental unwellness that washes over me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of the periods in my life where I've had these depressions or funk, little, mental meltdowns or whatever it is, I feel like it's completely rooted in that. Like, there's knowing what you want and having an aim and a purpose in life is a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really great orienting thing because you now know what to spend your time to try to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you now have a defined goal that your body and mind and soul know whether you are or are not achieving that goal.
Right.
And if you aren't, your chemical physiology lets you know you're failing. And also too, like, on the romantic end of things, I think you've had certainly more relationships than I have, where I've only really had one real one.
Yeah.
And it was like 7 years ago. So there's this element too where I feel that at some point I made the decision, because I made a decision that I value this creative and artistic pursuit more than I value being in a relationship, I guess. And I don't think that they're necessarily mutually exclusive, but I do feel this. I feel like this really puts the finger on it. The older I get and the longer I stay this level of non-successful, like in a tangible financial and social sense,
Mm-hmm.
the less viable of a partner I become for a woman. You know what I mean?
The wrong woman.
Maybe, but I
My ex and I scraped pennies out from under the couch to go split a double cheeseburger from McDonald's when we started Shine On. So it's,
yeah, but also, like, you see, even though you still do creative things, you do have a business that supports you. Like massage businesses and the wine, they're doing well.
Yeah,
And-
it's just always Ozarks.
Right. And
You made some money. Give me that money you made. You can't have it anymore. It's ours now. You made some money. Give me the sales tax. Come here, fork it up.
yeah. No, I'm sure it's fucking. I'm sure it's fucking rough.
Yeah, it's just hard to hold on to it when you make it. You're like, oh man, we had a great weekend. Oh, there goes a huge wine order. Oh, there goes sales tax.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes rent. And it's like, wow. How does anybody make money in a fucking bar? I don't know how anybody does it.
As profitable as a business may be, it's also very expensive to run a business. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like having that, it's like, I don't know. I feel like to any woman that looks at me in some sort of way where she's analyzing whether or not she should get involved with me romantically,
Mm-hmm.
maybe prior to me starting like the freelance business, is certainly the case. It's like, wait, what does he do for money?
That's something though that could end up. You were on, like, I feel like it was snowballing for a little bit there, but it's just winter as fuck now. But once it like gets springtime and events pick up, I think that you're onto something big.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I feel better about being in the position I am now, even when things got slowed a little bit during the winter. And I feel better too now being in this now suddenly having this entrepreneurial form of income. It's made me feel more confident, and honestly, it's been so consuming of like my attention to keep it running and to make progress on it. Like I don't at all like at this point early in it, I don't have like a cutoff time of like, all right, past this time, this many days a week, I'm turning it off. I'm not where it's like, no, it's a 20, like as long as I'm awake, I'm open to working on it, whatever that is, whether it's literally editing photos from a shoot, or it's talking to clients, or it's doing some sort of marketing, or working on a website, whatever it is, organizing the portfolio. I'm doing research and learning, watching YouTube videos from other people that are successful, like that kind of thing. I feel like I'm throwing myself full force at it and doing creative stuff like in the in-between time. And so as far as like social and romantic stuff goes, I'm so occupied, it's not even really a thought of mine where
That's
like
good if you're that focused. Yeah.
6 months ago it was, and I could feel it creeping up on me, and I could feel that it was very much like I was paying too much attention to it and not doing enough about putting the time and attention on myself to make myself, I don't know, better, to be simple about it. I felt, I don't know. I definitely want to hear from you, but I personally feel like, and again, I feel like starting this freelance business and making the progress I have made has been a major step out of this. But for the longest time, developing in my 20s and turning 27 and assessing my life and assessing, my romantic or not so romantic patterns and social patterns, watching like how I've maybe not been the best friend to a lot of people, maybe even not even been that great of a guy to acquaintances and strangers, not being so friendly socially, just in general, not being very giving, all these things, like just looking at myself and just the word that comes to my mind, no matter how harsh anyone thinks it is, I just think loser. Like I'm just like, you're a fucking loser. Like I think that, and and I don't think it's harsh. Like I think it's a honest assessment, and there's of course a way to feel that way about yourself and let it get to you and let it destroy you, and then you just go further down that hole, or you can try to ignore that and just unconsciously feel like a loser without ever admitting it to yourself. But I feel that it was like a necessary, honest look in the mirror and being like, look, I feel like more and more of a loser every year.
What happened to me with it? What am I doing?
And that has to stop. I have to do something about it.
Well, people put you down too, because people will be like, well, I could never do that. So they make you feel like shit for chasing your dreams. That's another thing I've had all the time happen to me. It's just people like, critiquing me, over critiquing, unwanted criticism, like not asked for, like, who the fuck are you to tell me that? Like, I'm out here, like, have you ever, like, when someone's like, stand-up comedy is just so, like, lame. I'm like, fuck you. Could you get on a stage and make a crowd full of people bust out laughing? No. That's why you're saying that, because you're fucking lame. Like,
it's challenging.
Yeah, it's just it's
most of the critics and commenters on things are people that are certainly like way worse of losers, like that just they
trolls.
Yeah, they either don't have a creative bone in their body, or they have plenty of creative bone, they just don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And they can't. It's like the people who criticize mostly are people that don't make anything.
Right.
All they do is consume and criticize.
You've never created anything. You've never tried to like go out of the box to like play an instrument or like even a fucking hobby, and those are the people that are gonna like, I didn't like that you did, man. It's just like,
I've never
do
been,
anything and then say something, but fuck right off.
Yeah, for the most part, I've never really been bothered by, because at some point, like early in like high school, I had a period where I had a YouTube video go viral, and I got a sudden like onset of like 2,000 subscribers, and had a lot of people like engaging with my content aside from that viral
Was that
video.
the ones you showed me?
The Rebecca Black interview, like the YouTube poop.
No, I don't know. Your ones where you're with the high school ones were like funny as fuck. You did like a kind of Tim and Eric thing.
Oh yeah, the Cameron and Jake
so
Awesome
funny.
show. Yeah, I talked about that a little one with the last podcast with Wills. My experience
I didn't
airing
know you
that
did
show.
Wills.
Dude, I had such a great podcast with him.
Sorry, this one sucks.
Yeah, you apology rejected, but
We can try it again one day.
No, actually, I feel like this has turned into this has been like a slow getting into it. I like where this is right now.
Yeah, we're in a good place, man. Vibing.
Yeah. But yeah, the critics, dude. I feel like I've never been bothered by criticism. If anything, I appreciate that I'm being talked about.
Yeah, well, you want to know what I think?
What?
I think, so on the subject of not really caring to be famous, I know this is going to sound cocky. I know that if I went out and I pursued it, I know I would probably have a pretty decent chance of getting some kind of gig.
Mm-hmm.
I know that if I like really went for it, like, because at the time when I was doing it all the time, like how you are now, it was getting tight. And like Wilmington's a hard place to get picked up. You got to go to like the big places, I guess. But I feel like I know I could maybe do it. And I was like, man, you know what though? I think it would drive me crazy, but I've accepted that like I am that person for my friends and my family. So instead of being like that person for the world who doesn't appreciate shit and who will just chew you up and spit you out, I can be the comedian, the court jester for my friends and my family.
Yeah, your circle.
Yeah, and I can do it every night behind the bar, make the customers laugh, goof off, and like I wouldn't be able to do that if I was on touring or anything like that. But it feels good just being able to be like known as like, that's Cam, he's funny, Cam can make you laugh, So that's why I like just being the comedian for my loved ones.
Yeah, and I think that is along the lines of like the way I've conceptualized some sort of acceptance of what I currently am, like who I am now. There is a way of looking at it that I'm like, you know what, even if I make no progress, I accept it. Mm-hmm. And I do love the role that I play. I do like who I am, and I like the way that I am able to continue to develop, even if I don't make any sort of massive leaps in fame and finance. Mm-hmm. And that's been like a slow thing to really like wrap my head around in a healthy way.